welcome to this.
And that. Hello and welcome to This and That. I'm Jennifer Kerr.
And I'm Dave Leese. All right, Jenny, let's dig into it. My cell phone was going off on Monday. I could hear it rattling in my drawer.
Was it Peter Murray?
I think it was Peter Murray. I think he let everyone know that the Shibutanis posted on their website. And you know what? I got so many text messages from this. The last time I got this many texts was when Adam Rippon said that he was going to be skating a Mad Men program and being Don Draper. And all my friends were just like, oh, please let it be the Grand Prix season already. We need to see this. And I kind of have the same reaction because like my mind automatically went to the first time when Adam did the Mad Men program. And we saw, him swiveling his hips. And I'd be like,
Don.
Don has never been excited once on the show. When is he shaking those hips? I'm like, maybe he's being Joan? Is that what Michael Siebert had in mind? I'm not sure. But, so the big news is the Shibutanis are going to be doing a Michael Jackson medley. And they're going to be skating the Thriller. Jenny, oh my God. What do you think about this?
Okay, so my initial reaction is, WTF. Okay, I have to be honest.
Bold choice.
It was a little bit like, okay. But you know what, Dave? After the World Show, we said that we wanted them to skate a program that was really going to highlight Alex's personality. And I think this program will do it. I want to see some moonwalking. I want to see, one glove, maybe some fangs. But I think it's fun music. The audience is going to get behind it. Although my gut reaction is maybe this isn't the best music choice. You have to hesitate before you make any sweeping judgment until you actually see the program. I think it'll be fun. Again, the audience will get behind it. They're going to have that personality. I just worry that Maya may be in the background. I want to see how she's going to come out of her shell. And it's not the most mature music selection, but it's fun. And they're fun. I love their YouTube videos too.
What is a visual in your mind like for this program?
Okay, so I see him center ice, like moonwalking, maybe like a hand through his hair, to do like a little dancing. Are we gonna see the socks? Are there gonna be sparkly socks all over?
Listen, I have strong opinions on this. When Victor did it on tour, it was really he also did the boot covers, and it was really like cheap looking. Like that would not happen on Stars on Ice. That was the other tour.
Jeff Billings would say no.
Yes, Yuki, we know that you watch the show. Get Jeff on speed dial. We know that, he did a lot of wonderful things for Christy Yamaguchi over the year, whose birthday it is today when we're filming this. And we know that Christy's been a very good client for your bank account over the years. So we hope that you need to get Jeff Billings on the phone and get him to make these costumes because it's hard. Alex, he's going to have to go big. He's going to have to go bold with like the red.
But if anyone could do it, it's Alex Shibutani.
I know he's going to have like the shoulder pads going on. No bedazzled socks, but okay. So this program, Thriller, the video is all about a date gone wrong. And at first I'm like, they're a sibling. Like, how are they going to, they're going to have to pretend like they're on a date. But I'm thinking, well, I never believed that Michael was like having relations with any of those girls. Not Naomi Campbell, not the one in Thriller, none of the ones like in You Rock My World when he was in the brothel. Like Michael was never believable. So I think that they're fine. I think that the sibling thing, whatever, they just need to go over the top with this. It's a little bit, I was thinking back to like when Nancy Kerrigan used to do those Holiday on Ice shows. I'm like, is this what this is going to be like? Like, where's Roy Flatt? Where's Liz Manley? What are the costumes? Where's Jen? Come on, that's what I initially thought of. But it's a bold choice. They needed to take a risk. They need to go out. And you know what? Even if they fall flat on their faces, at least they took a risk to move up in the ice dance world. They needed to do something and shake everything up and have fun.
Yes, I think that's what it's all about. It's having fun and giving a performance in their short dance to Michael Bublé. I think that's going to be fun too. I can't wait to see Alex out there performing. He was born to perform. Maya, she's gorgeous. And I hope they just, if you're going to do something like Thriller, go all out.
It's his idea. Alex is clearly the one behind all of those YouTube videos that they do. He's like, Maya, we're doing this now. And she's like, okay, So,
he's so talented, though.
I loved how well written their post was on their website. Like
Meryl Davis checked their grammar.
Meryl Davis definitely put credit. Meryl Davis can rock a semicolon. Hi, Meryl. My grammar.
David's your biggest fan.
fall even more in love with her. It's not every day that you get a message with that level of grammar and punctuation. Thanks, Meryl. So,
yeah, I'm excited to see. We also found out this week Daisuke Takahashi, he announced his music selections, and he is skating to Dave Lee's favorite program of mine, all-time favorite, My Beatles Memories. Dave, tell us about your love for that program. Do you love it almost as much as you love Mickey Ando? Almost? Do I get to beat Mickey Ando in the level of love you have for that program?
Is that people used to make jokes about it on all of the message boards because you drew the heart in the ice. But I never really fell in love with the program until I got to really know you and know like what all of your mad faces are when they're always directed at me. So there's a moment in one time Jenny's performing this program where she misses a jump and then she pops. And Jenny Kirk is so over it and she has to do that Nancy Kerrigan spiral. And I could just see in her eyes that she is like,
and then I would just throw myself into trouble. But enough about me. Let's go back to Daisuke.
It's so funny because all the people come on their show and they're like, "Oh, Jenny, you skated to the Beatles," and then we get messages from people. I want to talk to Jenny about that Beatles program. You know, the heart on the ice. So
one thing I know though, Daisuke's program is going to be far beyond my program. He's such a beautiful skater. He's Laurie Nichols choreographing it. I think it's going to be fun. We listened to his short program music. Someone tweeted us a copy of the music and we retweeted. Gorgeous. Just it fits him so well. I can't wait to see both
Kenji Miyamoto's doing that. He's worked with Daisuke in the past. I think it's going to be a wonderful program. Actually, you know what? The Beatles program, it's all about the music. I think I had an issue with your music edit.
My music? My chair keeps squeaking. That's
like your music did when it sounded like we were shopping in Bloomingdale's. What is that? So anyway, he does have a really tough season ahead of him. He's going to be against Yuzuru Hanyu, and we've seen Hanyu in a show last weekend. Jenny, how do you think he looks?
Phenomenal. I think he's becoming an artist. You saw in the show, just throwing up the triple axel like it's nothing under the spotlight. I really think last season was such a formidable season in his career because it was his first time really out there on the elite level. He had some bumps at every single competition, even at Worlds we saw coming back in the long program, but I think they were all learning experiences, and he's going to use that this season. It seems like he's coming into his own. He's young, and whereas Daisuke may be a little bit more of an artist, more mature in that sense, there's no way that you can out-train somebody who's 18, 19 years old. Just it's not going to happen. And I think this is Yuzuru's season. He looks so wonderful at those shows. The Triple X, he did one of his programs, literally like landing in a shoot the duck, but he was not going down, just kind of laughing it off.
That grit that you talk about that some people have, if he can do that under show lights, and I just want to correct one thing, because skaters and the fans are a little bit obsessive. So if I don't point out that it wasn't his first season on the international scene, but it was his first season,
I'm saying on the elite level.
Yes, really, for competing for gold in every single meet. But Jenny, you know the emails that we will get from this, so let's just talk about it.
No, but, all right, let me clarify what I was saying. He's been on the international scene, but I'm saying like there's a difference when you're in the hunt for a world title, world medal, versus 8th, 9th place at world championships.
And absolutely, I mean,
you can still send me a hate email though. Go for it.
Yes, he had medaled the year before, but now, with that medal, he was then, a real contender for gold at every competition. And we would often see, that's a different level of pressure. It's a different mindset. You're no longer just going out there to do your best. And it's really interesting because he would do so well in the short program last year, then often have struggles in the long. And he's skating lights out, more energy. More energy than I think we saw him at any point. He was really connecting with the audience. He was selling that Jeff Buttle short program. I think, I hope he does something, for both programs, more like what he did with the short last year. Mm-hmm. He used to be called the Japanese Johnny for a while because, like his long program last year to Notre Dame de Paris, or other programs that he's done, they were very Johnny Weir-esque, minus the pointed toe. And I think that he's getting his own style. He's a little bit funky. He's a little bit edgy. He seems to really love doing that short program, and he often skated it well. And I hope he does something for both programs more in that vein. I mean, those triple axels were so natural, so easy. His competition with Javier Fernandez looks to be paying off. I think it's going to be a strong season. I'm excited to see Yuzuru and Daisuke and all of the men really go at it in Japan and around the world.
While they were at the shows, there are some skaters here in the U.S. who've started 2014 season with these summer events. This weekend is the Vail competition. Colorado, Max Aaron will be competing. And we saw last couple weeks we talked about Broadmoor Open. We saw Alexis Schmecka and Chris Knierim competed there. Now they're injured. They have to withdraw from Skate Detroit. And I want to talk to you briefly, Dave, about what are your opinions about these summer competitions? Do you think it's a good idea for skaters to be competing early, mid-July? Do you think they should wait till later? What are your thoughts on these summer events?
It's all who you are and what you need to do. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not conducive to having a really long season. If you're a skater who's probably in the mix to go to the World Championships, you have to think really hard about what you do. Of course, Max Aaron is bionic. So I think Max wants to go out and he's going to be doing a watered down version of his program. He's probably still going to throw a quad. You know, Max, who knows what to expect from him. I mean, he's just, balls to the wall out there. But I expect, Max is going to go out and land some jumps. I think Joshua Ferris is also slated to compete, as well as Frank Carroll's new favorite thing in intermediate. Tessa Hong is going to be skating. So all eyes on her. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I go to Liberty almost every single year, and I've seen so many different skaters. Patrick Chan tried out programs there. They also have a monitoring session. So you would see skaters that would maybe do a short program, not compete the long, but have their monitoring. And it's great for fans. It's great, I think, for the skaters to test out those programs. Ashley Wagner once did a Led Zeppelin program that she only ever did at Liberty, and then it was scrapped. We never saw it again. They must have hated it at the monitoring session. And then we never saw it again. And I actually liked the program. But I think it's interesting. It gets those mileage out without the risk of doing it in front of the international judges. But when Jeremy Abbott won nationals, he had started competing in the summer, and I don't know if he did Broadmoor Open, and he did a number of the summer events. And he kind of almost seemed like he got burnt out after nationals was kind of his last competition this season, and then it went downhill at Four Continents. I think it is worrisome when they compete too much, too early, too many events. I think you need to pace yourself, maybe a short at one, full competition the other, or just the long. I think when you start doing every event and you want to make a name for yourself and win those summer competitions, that's great, but you have to think what's going to happen at nationals. And Samantha Cesario has been one of my favorite skaters, really because I get to see her at the summer events like Liberty, like Moran, and she always skates really well, and you think, oh, she's going to do great because she's trying to get those junior Grand Prix or those senior B assignments and really be in the mix, so she has to do those events. And she's often done very well and then been injured by the time the national championships come around. So it is risky. I mean, did you do summer events? What were your take on it?
I did a little bit. My whole take, and I mean, this is speaking from my own experience, every athlete is different, but I always thought that July was the month where you do the dirty training, where you don't want, we've seen Gracie Gold, we'll talk about it in a little bit, posting training videos of her working on new triple combinations. That's really what July is about. It's getting those programs solidified, working on the new elements, and then I always believe early August is when you should start to go out and try the programs. I think it's important for skaters to do each program at least twice in front of an audience or in a pressure sort of situation before an event that counts. So say your key event is Skate America, but you have Nebelhorn before, that can count as one, and then do one summer competition, or even an exhibition. Skating Club of Boston used to have, or they may still have it, Friday night exhibition. So you get out into that kind of arena of there's people watching, maybe there's a judge there who's monitoring you just to get those butterflies out. It's really hard for some athletes to do these summer events and to not go all out. And that's the only thing that I worry about with someone like Max Aaron. We did talk to Tom last week, his coach, and he said that Max was just going to go out, maybe do a watered down version like we saw from Jason Brown at the Broadmoor Open. And I think that's really the key. You go out, you do your programs, but you're not going to do 2 or 3 quads, the triple axel. You want to try maybe one hard element, double, a couple triples if you need to. It's about getting the feel for doing your program under pressure. I do worry though, we talk about Alexa and Chris too. They went out and that was a fantastic program that probably would have won the short program at nationals, what they did at Broadmoor Open. But it does seem like there is that kind of catch-22. If you're going to go all out and really perform, you could get injured if you peak too early in the season, like you talk about with Samantha as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've been training really well. We saw the training videos that they sent us when they were on the show, and they had really been in the trenches almost right after Worlds and really making those improvements to be competitive. But I think, the pairs are all competing at Skate Detroit this year. They're not doing the Indy competition, so everyone is going to Skate Detroit, and that is really where I think the third spot at Skate America will likely be decided, and the skaters need to show up for that. Mm-hmm. And while it's good that they have that competition, we may see some of these teams burn out or get injured. I mean, they were really slated to probably win Skate Detroit. He has a broken bone now. They're supposed to be back at Champs Camp. You know, they're doing well. They obviously have the OTC doctors right there. So they have, you know, so many things in their corner, and they're going to be fine. But they are missing out on some of this training time in the summer. And you do just wonder, when is too early to compete? That Broadmoor Open, it's very, very early in the season.
It is.
So, I mean, you were someone who was on the Grand Prix. You know, there are other skaters competing who probably need these competitions to get ready for sectionals, to get ready for regionals.
Right.
They're in a little bit of a different situation. But when you are a bit of an older skater, it's hard to stay up for longer. So it's interesting. Yeah. I think maybe, you know, going all out in the short could be good for some skaters. Maybe don't do both.
Yeah, as we talk about these summer events, international figure skating, they posted on their Facebook page that Evan has confirmed he will be at that Senior B event at the end of August. So that's a great opportunity for him to go out and to do kind of what we're talking about with these skaters. Do that at the end of August as opposed to in July to test out your programs, because I think you do have to do it at least once, get both programs out there before the event that counts. But one skater that we haven't seen or heard is doing summer events is Gracie Gold, but she has been posting videos on her Instagram of her doing new triple jump combinations. I think it was like a double axel, half loop, triple flip. She's doing a rip on, or a half loop, triple toe, a rip on last. I mean, the girl she has those jumping legs. Very impressive.
I feel like she must jump all day, every day. And it's funny. The jumps are absolutely, I think, terrifying if you're one of her competitors. The girl's got spunk. I remember Lou Grant said to Mary Tyler Moore, "You got spunk." And she's like, "Well, thank you, Mr. Grant. I hate spunk." Well, I love spunk. I love that none of these girls on Team USA are nice girls, except Alyssa Cisney. I think she's the one nice girl on the team. You know, the other ones are all...
They're nice girls, but when we talk about nice girls, I mean, they have that killer instinct. Like, I'm going to get you.
We love it. Yes, we love every second of it. And I love that Gracie's posting all these videos, probably being like, "Look at that, Ashley. Look at that, Mariah." I mean, these jumps are ridiculous, what she's doing. We probably won't see many of them in competition but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's
psychological warfare. It's getting your competitors nervous. You know, though, I would be probably, this is just me speaking, would be more impressed if she were posting pictures of, you know, a 180-degree spiral and a great layback and showing us that other part of her skating, because we know Gracie can jump. It's more about, can she jump under pressure, and how is the maturity coming along the programs? That's what I'm most interested in seeing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think maybe going the jump route could be sort of smart for this year, because she has a lot of work to do in the other area, and I'm sure she's aware of it. I don't think we're breaking any news here that Gracie is very strong technically, but you know, she needs to catch up in the other areas. And it's not that there's anything like inherently wrong with her skating. I mean, the elements, the spins are fine. Like, nothing is like wrong. It's the in-between, it's the connecting. She lacks that polish. And though when Tara and Michelle competed against each other, Tara might not have been the preeminent artist, and I don't think anyone would argue that she was. But working with Sandra Bezic, working with, you know, a ballet instructor every day, she really got that polish to her skating, to where even if it wasn't as artistic as someone like Michelle Kwan or even like Nicole Bobeck or Lu Chen, she had that polish and that look that Ashley got under John Nix, that Gracie needs more of that. Yeah. Whatever that little, also the like, finish.
Yeah, and it's like the feeling of the music. I mean, Tara, she felt that rainbow music. Maybe it was a movie soundtrack. It wasn't the most, you know, obscure artistic music, but you did get that sense of definitely the Olympics, that she was skating from a place within her, that the movements counted. I think what we saw last season with Gracie is all the positions are fine. If you take photographs throughout her program, it's not like she's hitting some ugly position, but you don't get the sense that there's no meaning behind the positions that she hits or the choreography, and that would be fantastic to see this season if she could kind of connect her soul a little bit more to the programs.
Everything's a little bit disjointed. It's like there's a spin here, a jump here, a pose here, but it doesn't all flow together, and it's the tips of the fingers, you know, that Oksana Bayul had.
And Lori's saying you have to like ooze like toothpaste coming out of like the tooth. Like, you just want that oozy feeling of hers, and it's a little bit more pose. Beauty queen, you know, just smile. But there is, just switching topics now, there were 2 rule changes that are proposed amendments to the rules. The interruption of skating programs rules. And the way that I read it now, and I want you guys to correct us if we're wrong, we read through this, it's kind of hard to understand all the jargon is. Right now, say you have to stop your program, you have to interrupt the program in the middle of your performance, you have 40 seconds to fix whatever issue it is, and you won't get a penalty. You also have to 40 seconds to report to the referee and to state that you need up to 3 minutes to fix the problem. The amendment is if you go to that referee and you say, I need additional time, they're going to deduct 5 points from your score. This is a new thing that they would be doing. And of course, if it's over the 3 minutes, you have to withdraw from the event. Dave, do you think it's fair that they're adding this 5-point deduction? Do you think it's fair that there is any deduction if a skater were to stop their program?
Of course it's fair. I mean, it's awful. You don't want to see any skater stop the program. And if you were that skater, you would hate it if your blade broke or if your lace broke or if
the bobby pins. We've seen that.
And you would hate that happened.
Right.
You know, and it would be terrible and it would be awful and it would be like the worst moment of your life. But if you think about what's fair in the overall event, you do get a bit of a breather there. And I don't think that any skater goes out there hoping to stop the program. Yeah. But it's one of those things, if it does stop, there is an interruption. I mean, it's going to be a bad day, however way you slice it. It's going to be a bad day, but I do think that the rule is fair. And there's probably, there are a number of ice dance stops over the last year.
Tessa Virtue at Four Continents.
Yeah,
we still don't know why she stopped that program either.
I know. One of my Canadian friends was like, Tessa Virtue has a rule named after her. We have the Zayak rule, we have the Tessa rule, because, she stopped twice at Four Continents. But, I mean... I think it's a fair rule. It happened at the Olympics with Nobunari Oda that he had to stop his program. And, he was really doing quite well before he had to stop his program. And obviously it was very upsetting, but at the end of the day, it's a competition. It's about the performance.
Yeah, it's not a sport like basketball or football where you can have the timeouts and you get those 4 minutes, the 4.5 minutes, and it's your job as an athlete to make sure your laces are not going to break all the time. You're harding that, your costume works. That's why we talk about these summer competitions.
Maybe Tanya planned on stopping. I have some doubt there.
Lord,
the old me, Jenny.
You never know with her, anything to get publicity. But yeah, I think it's a sad day if you have to stop. I think it's a fair rule. 5 points is kind of a lot. But hopefully that only happens if it's ever going to happen once in a skater's career and they learn from it.
Yeah, and you just hope it doesn't happen at the Olympics. So if it happens at Four Continents, who really cares? Worlds is what you care about anyway. So one of the things we did want to talk about is that on Saturday, July 20th at the Toyota Sports Center, where we have our secret sources, where Mirai Nagasu is now taking some lessons from Krista Fossey, we know that there's going to be an evening on ice with which Nick and Trisha LaRoche put on. I believe it's their 3rd year. And it's going to feature so many wonderful skaters, and it's actually benefits the skaters and their training funds. I mean, skaters don't have the opportunities to make the money that they used to have when you were skating, and those lessons with Frank Carroll are not cheap. I think they're $150 an hour for that greatness. So I think, this is a really good cause. And if you're someone who's going to sit around and complain that, skating's not on TV that much, or you don't get to see it in the arenas or see the tours, this is a really great opportunity. I mean, it's going to be hosted, first of all, by Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner. And we love Randy.
Love you, Ty.
But Ty Babylonia is gone with the wind fabulous. I can't even imagine what her hair is going to look like. What is she going to say? If you go to the show, please bring a camera and send us clips of all of Ty's introductions, because I'm sure it's going to be off the hook. And if you buy VIP tickets for the show on usathleticfoundation.org and go to the evening show as a VIP ticket holder, you get to go to a meet and greet, so you'll get to meet Ty and take photos with all of your favorite skaters.
Send us those pictures, and it's really an all-star cast. We have Kimmy Meisner, Liz Cisney, Rachel Flatt, Emily Hughes, Katie Denny, John Coughlin, Anna Ribbon, Joshua Ferris, Polita Edmonds, whom we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, obviously Nick LaRoche, Alex Johnson. I mean, so many skaters that we've talked about, that we love, and you get to see them as they prepare for this very
And the Whip My Hair girl, Star Andrews, is going to be there, so I'm super jealous that we don't get to be there for it.
Take videos, send them to us.
We are there in spirit. Take videos, go to the show. Our challenge for you is to go to the show this week. We are super excited for them. We hope they raise a ton of money. It's a great cause, and we love you, Ty. So.
Yes, and we're also super excited because this week we have a contest and a giveaway. So Rachel, who is a skater.
Feel like Vanna White.
Right, hold them up. and they match your shirt. Rachel's a skater. She's created a company, Live Coon, which means live boldly, with her father. These are piece pads. They're butt pads, $200 value. They're specifically made for skaters' hips and tailbone, and they're made out of visco, which is an elastic material that absorbs 94.7% of the shock of the falls. Any skater knows that ice is not very forgiving when you fall. I remember I had to make a butt pad out of a hockey helmet before Nationals 2001. This is a great cause. So how can our viewers win these piece pads, Dave?
Well, if you want to stop hitting that same part of your body again and again, and getting those...
Carolina Costner at Worlds, right?
We have a trivia question for you. So our first actual interview that we filmed was with Tim Gable. And on that show, Tim Gable said that Johnny Weir has $1 million face. Our question for you, for our loyal viewers, is what skincare product did Tim Gable say is responsible for Johnny Weir's $1 million face? Email us at theskatinglesson@gmail.com. Be the first one to get the correct answer, and you will get some lovely piece pads your way to, fix that fanny and those hip bones.
Say it again, fanny. I love that.
Fanny.
One of my favorite words. We would also like to thank, again, Mary Beth Marley. We posted her video this past week coming on Skating Lessons, speaking so openly and honestly about her struggle with an eating disorder. She's back on the ice skating. We really wish her the best of luck for the second part of her career. Not easy. We were honored that she approached us to share her story. We're also honored that Tom Zakrajczak, who's our interviewee this week, approached us talking about some of the stuff that he's been working on with social media this past month. Wonderful interviewee as well. We wish both of them the best of luck.
Yeah, they were both really great guests. We're honored to be approached by both of them. And we look forward to many more exciting interviews because we actually got an email from US Figure Skating this week, and we were super honored to hear from them. We actually didn't realize, we live in our own bubble. We didn't realize that we met their criteria for credentialed media or any of that. So, that was a, wonderful thing to hear, but they seem to be big fans of the show and supportive of what we're doing. And they actually want to help us line up interviews for the future. So we were super excited to hear from them and be working closely with them in the future to get to know some of these skaters that we'll be seeing at the Worlds and the Olympics this year.
Yeah, we're all about promoting the sport, promoting US figure skating, these athletes. We want them to come on, feel comfortable telling their stories and letting the fans know these skaters, athletes better. So we also want to know from you, send us an email if you want to play in the contest. Do you think summer competitions are a good thing for skaters to do? What are some of your thoughts about that? This new rule, proposed amendment to the rule. We want to hear what you think. If you're in California, go out and see Evening on Ice. And we'd like to thank Kevin.
And take pictures with Ty. I want everyone to have photos with Ty. I want her hair to be all over everyone. It's just going to be wonderful.
Yeah, so we'd like to thank Kevin Kwasniewski for our graphics.
Yes, and as always, we'd like to remind you to get in touch with your inner sass like Gracie Gold and Ashley Wagner. Hold an edge and look sexy.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.